work. In late 2016 and into 2017, I figured out how to turn my health around and get my life back. I made some drastic lifestyle and diet changes and have now been prescription free for almost 5 years. My blood work is pretty much back to normal. My autoimmune symptoms are few and far between and well managed. So one of the important things that autoimmune warriors need is sleep. And without it, not only can we get cranky, but our overall health can suffer as well. So sleep is so important for our body to rejuvenate and recharge. And as you know, when you don't sleep very well, if at all, you feel like you've been run over. And, now I'm able to fall asleep pretty much as soon as I lay down in my bed, or within 20 to 30 minutes for sure. And I sleep through the night pretty much every night. So Christy and I will share our tips and advice today that will hopefully give you some ideas to try. So Christy, please introduce yourself, and then let's get into the many things that we can try to help with sleep.
Of course, awesome. So my name is Christina Kaltenbach, or Christy, that's fine. I am, gosh, you had a really good story all planned. I am actually quite a lot like Joe, which is amazing because we just connected kind of, not by chance, but kind of. And so, so I have fibromyalgia and scoliosis, and I don't really sleep that well. And when I do, it's still not great. So I need to take all her advice, really. And so I've been dealing with that for 30 plus years. I've also been a career nanny for almost 30 years. And I love my babies. And I'm passionate about sleep training them, probably because I don't get to sleep. So someone should. There's that. But I work with so many moms, and they always have the same questions and concerns and complaints that the books don't have. They make them feel like failures because they're not doing what the book has told them to do. And I've always been one to kind of help them, work them through that, talk them down, let them know that they're not a failure, that their baby is actually a unique individual. And then I've just kind of over the years through doing it, created a sleep training program with tidbits of books and other strategies, but mine is a matter of days. If we start at 4 months, which is what I do, it's a matter of days, and you're so much closer to better sleep. And then there's a few steps along the way, of course, but so that's what I have started doing, and it's super passionate for me because I've been doing it for so long, and I love it. And I see babies, I know their cues. I know, I just know, and I want to help tired mamas. I want to help everyone tired at all possible. So, because
if the baby's not sleeping, that means the parents can't sleep either.
Right.
The whole family can't sleep. Yeah, exactly.
And even as a nanny, I mean, it's tough on us too, because we're there all day, every day, so you deal with that. And then there's a sleep regression, and there's lots of things that go into it, and parents don't realize that like melatonin doesn't kick in until a certain time, and so you can't do anything. So there's just a lot of little things that I know that the books don't explain quite right. So I have created a program to help.
That's amazing. And you're getting such great testimonials too. It's really helpful. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think about this, like all my friends that have kids, I could be rich. I've helped all of them. I mean, I'm glad I could help them. That's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with your course and your coaching, right? I mean, it's going to be so helpful for more and more families as word gets out there that you do this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, very exciting.
So so let's talk about some ideas for babies as well as adults, as far as what kinds of recommendations that you have for helping with sleep.
Sure. So obviously I have oils, kind of an oil junkie over here myself. So there's other things too, because not every mom is ready for that, which, that's fine. So a couple of non-oily things. First, I'll just say, swaddle your baby. I've talked to so many moms recently, and their babies flaring about, and they're used to being snug like a burrito, right? So, or even in a ball. So I call them burrito babies. So make your baby a burrito, and that's one huge step that's really going to help. And then just track your sleep. Really important to track like their schedule. Even though it's not a set schedule, it's their schedule. And that helps you know what their next cry means, because newborns moms don't know, especially first-time parents, they don't know what each cry means. So these are just 2 easy tricks to get kind of started. So, and then for oils for babies, I use in the diffuser, really can use anything because it's so diluted. So I know some moms love the peace and calming, some moms love the lavender. And it's funny because babies have a very specific idea too. And so some will, you put the lavender in and the diffuser's going, nothing, doesn't help at all. Some want the stress away, some want the peace and calming, the stronger, a little more of a hint of that calming. So the oil works the same for little people as it does for us, which I think is super cool. But I highly recommend doing that. And then on the bottom of their feet, that's like the safest place where you can put oils, because the skin is thicker. And I also have charts that I pass out or I share with people that tell you where to put the oils. Your big toe, this goes for adults too. I do this every night. Your big toe is your brain. Use it.
Your big toe is your brain. That's good.
Yep. Every night. And even with my focus oils, if all my oils, anxiety, whatever, I go to my big toe. That's where it's all happening. For everybody, all ages.
That's awesome. I used to just put cedarwood on my feet because I didn't like the smell of the cedarwood, but now I do like smell of cedarwood, so I'll put it like everywhere. But yes, I used to put the cedarwood on my big toe.
I think we talked about the cedarwood. Yeah, I still don't love it. And I add a few drops of cedarwood and then a few very small amount of drops of the lime because it's a citrus oil. And you had reminded me that the other day that it's a citrus oil, right? It can wake you up. So
for me, lemon for sure keeps me awake. So I don't use that one, even late afternoon, I have to stop using the lemon because it'll keep me awake.
Isn't it funny? They all work differently for everybody. They really do. Some people can't even smell peppermint after 4, they're up and going. So yeah. So, and for me, my favorite go-to, so my blends are cedarwood and lime, like I just mentioned, and then lavender and eucalyptus at night is just a really awesome, it's so calming. And then the cedarwood and lime is like a tropical beach to me, which is like my favorite place to be ever. Peace and calming by itself, or for anxiety, because I deal with anxiety and sleep. So that's my go-to up and down my actual spine, on my feet with pressure, sometimes just on my heart. Copaiba is another great one. Valor. I rotate them. That's the one thing I've learned, is to rotate them so they keep working good for you, because your body gets used to them. To me, anyways, that's my experience. Just like a medication would, right? So I use them for a week and then I switch, or a couple days, or if it's not helping, then I'll go to another one. Just keep adding and just dumping and pouring, sniffing.
Cuffing the oils, yeah.
Pretty much.
Do you find that first-time moms that maybe haven't, or not even first-time moms, but moms that haven't used oils, do they try them on the babies first usually, or do you find that they'll try them on themselves first and then realize that they work and start using them on the babies? Is there sort of a pattern that you've seen there?
It really depends on the person. If they're a research person, they'll do all the research. If they don't want them on their bodies, they're definitely not going to put them on their babies. The best way is the diffuser. So I explained to them that it's so diluted that it just puts a nice scent into the air, and it just helps calm everybody down. So that's kind of the best. And then I suggest like coconut oil for the for diluting it and making it a better, even on their feet. It won't work as well as you and I know, because just because I had a mom recently ask me about teething, and I do my go-to is thieves oil and coconut oil. So just a tablespoon of coconut oil, 1 drop of thieves on the gums. The clove has the numbing agent in it. I've been using it for years. That's my go-to. So some moms are like, nope, not going in my mouth, not going in my baby's mouth, not. And other moms are like, I'll do anything. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's a very controversial, or it can be. But
For people that don't know the science behind it, for sure. And also for people that have tried the grocery store ones that are just perfume and they've realized that those don't work, then they're not really sure why they'd be putting a perfume in their baby's mouth. So I can see, you know, you can kind of see where some of the confusion comes from. But if you're getting your oils from a company that uses pure plant extracts that are 100% pure plant extracts, then you'll realize that they actually do things and that they are, safe but in small amounts. I mean, like you said, you know, one drop of thieves in a tablespoon of coconut oil and then just like
not
rub
much.
it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Doesn't take much. Yeah, I know. And so many moms are like, "What got the Whole Foods?" No. So, you know, but it is what it is. You know, you pay for what you get and do the research. That's what I always say. I just want everyone to feel better. I want people to sleep. Life is too short to not sleep. And when I was younger, I'd always say I'll sleep when I'm dead. Yeah, that's right.
Till the body starts to shut down before we're actually dying. So it's like, well, now we got to actually do something to get our health back on track. Well,
Jokes on now.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
So now what about for adults? What are your suggestions for sleep for adults?
Have you ever tried, well, I can say this because I know that you are also a Young Living, so that's fine. The Immune Pro is a new
I haven't.
product. I have been on that for a week and it has melatonin in it, which I had been taking, but I think different types, formulas, companies, possibly. This one, I took it a little bit too early a couple nights and I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to bed right now.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was pretty fun. Yeah. Pretty excited about that.
Well, and nice to have to be able to really see that it's actually doing something. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. So we'll see next week if my body's kind of gotten used to it, if it has that same amazingness to it, or if it's going to kind of fade. I use magnesium, all kinds. I have a lotion. I take supplements. I make sure that Young Living products I buy have the supplements in them, the magnesium in them. Because that's been huge for me. The side effects are, you know, like aches and pains and fatigue, all the things that, you know, some of us struggle with all the time. So that was silly. I don't want more of that. So yeah, I love my oils. I use them. I do the tent over the nose. I do the block breathing. I do some kind of yoga sleep routine, music, meditational music, Qigong. They have some really cool sleep. It just calms the brain. And then if you do that with the oils, it's pretty amazing. That's cool. For me, my suggestion is create a bedtime routine, you know, have that, even just 5 minutes. Sometimes I just do a quick 5-minute thing and I have my yoga mat and I stretch and breathe and just your body just kind of melts. So, and I use my diffuser every night and I take good quality supplements. That's huge.
That is huge. And actually I had a really interesting thing happen to me a couple of weeks ago where I started waking up, and it does actually correlate to sleep. I started waking up in the night with like really bad cramps in my feet and my legs. And I couldn't figure it out. And at first I really didn't even try to figure it out. I just thought that's weird. And I kept waking up in the night, these cramps. And one night my foot started to go like this, like curly into a little ball. It was so painful. I sat up in bed and I had to take my hands and like pry my foot apart, like to keep it from curling. And I started thinking, okay, what is going on? You know, and I realized that I have not been taking my vitamin B, my super B, very regularly. So I used to, for the last several years, I've been taking it every single day, but I've been kind of just like forgetting and not paying attention to what I was doing. And, you know, the supplements that kind of got tossed off to the side.
It
And
happens.
looking back, I realized it's been probably at least 2 to 3 months of me not taking the Super B more than maybe 2 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. Like it's really, and I mean, especially I'm on a plant-based, whole food plant-based diet. So I really need to be taking the vitamin B. And as soon as I made that connection, I started taking 2 a day to basically try to catch back up again. And I haven't had a cramp ever since. And that to me is huge. Like when you are lacking in something, it can really affect your sleep.
Right.
So that was a good wake up call for me. Good reminder that I need to make sure I'm taking that vitamin B.
And then I would add to you, make sure you're taking magnesium and the right kind, because that's muscles. That's what magnesium is for. So that's another thing. What about, do you take vitamin D, the super D? Because those together, I recently learned that those together work so good. And also take the D at night. The D is supposed to really help with like the whole nighttime thing, sleeping and hormones, and with the B, it kind of just is a whole thing. So
that's awesome. I don't take really too many supplements just because, I try to get as much as I can from my diet. But I mean, the magnesium is important, and the D, and of course the B. So
right.
We do need to pay attention to what we're putting in our bodies, not just on our bodies.
Exactly. Yeah. All of it. It's so important. It's a vicious cycle otherwise. I've been doing a lot of learning about supplements and hormones and sleep and kind of the whole thing. And it's pretty cool. Maybe that could be another call that we talk about, because that's good stuff.
Yeah. And even probiotics for gut health, because when your gut is imbalanced and you might have things like heartburn or indigestion or just like bloated belly and not really digesting your food properly, then lots of people say they're waking up in the night with heartburn, right? So you get your microbiome under control with a cleaner diet and probiotics, and you can actually change all kinds of things with your health.
No, it's for sure. Your gut is like the main thing, your gut and sleep. And it's all one big thing. So if you're not sleeping, then you're not digesting, and if you're not right, so it's and then you're getting sick. And so
absolutely. And that was one of the things I noticed, that when I was really sick, I didn't know anything about gut health. And then basically when I went to Nicaragua at the end of 2016, I started getting healthier accidentally. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just eating the food that was there. And as it turned out, it was really, really good for my gut health.
Nice.
And I was able to figure out, I was able to get better. So, it's just so important to every aspect of our health, what we're eating, and also our stress level too, right? Because if you're stressed out, guess what? You're not sleeping at night.
It triggers all the other things that conflict.
Yes. And then if you're not sleeping at night, then you're more stressed in the daytime. You're making poorer and poorer decisions. You might be reaching for a donut and a Diet Coke instead of like a good healthy meal. So it's kind of this vicious cycle, right? When you aren't sleeping, are you not sleeping because of what you've eaten? Are you not sleeping because of your stress? Are you not sleeping just because, some random thing has happened? So sometimes the dog barks and wakes me up, right? So there are some nights where
I'm a light sleeper, but it's usually, I have learned to really listen to my body. So I know usually I can pinpoint what the issue is, which is good and bad. But I mean, I try to be on top of it.
That is awesome, because some people just really don't. And, the more that we can be aware of our body and really just like sit quietly and ask ourselves, okay, like, what might be I missing, or what did I do today that maybe like kept me awake? Like, did I use the lemon oil by accident?
Right. Did I not use peace and calming?
Exactly.
It's it's self-care is super important. If we don't stop and take a breath, and I do that self-care Sunday on Facebook Live. It's all about that, taking time for yourself and how important it is to de-stress at some point in your day. Whatever feels good to you, just do it. So that's kind of another part of that. And so it's all important. So I know we're just talking about sleep, but it's really one big thing.
It really is. Sleep is, it's such an important part of our entire lives, right? And it's the time when if we can get a good quality sleep, our organs regenerate, our brain regenerates. We can get healthier if we can sleep. Yeah.
and you feel better and your brain works and it's, yep. And otherwise I crave the sugar and I'm not moving my body.
Oh.
Yep.
So if
that's
you
me.
if you haven't slept very well, then you notice that you have more cravings for sugar?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. I'm pretty strong first day, but sometimes I can go a couple days. By the end of the week, it's just the exhaustion is like, I just can't. I can almost taste the sugar. Just kind of,
Wow.
it's crazy. So I've got to be really careful. And if I do have a piece, I'm just very careful to have a small piece and make sure that it is still gluten-free and there's less ingredients. And, you know, there are some a little bit better options.
Yes.
So if you do need to once in a while have sugar, like just do it, like get it out of your system, you know, but then make sure you stop. That's what I'm trying to do. That's my, I don't know. So yeah.
No,
And I
that's
try to
good advice.
that, okay?
Yeah.
One piece of sugar today, then that's it. Right. Okay. Now I'm good for a couple days. I need to be good. It's just, it is what it is. What else can I have? A date or, you know, have my smoothie that and add a little cinnamon to it, whatever, mint, you know, that other people will be so grossed out at because they're not used to eating healthier. It's a practice. It's a whole thing.
It is a
As you-
practice. Yeah. I
Yeah.
do find though the dates are quite sweet. And if I try and eat 2 or 3 of them, by the third one, I'm like, this is way too sweet. And then I'm done for craving any kind of sugar thing. So
Yeah, it's perfect. That's what you need.
Yeah.
And then I believe we talked about this. I sent you a thing saying why dates are good for you. There was a lot of good things.
there
I
was
can't
a lot
remember
of,
now.
yes.
Yeah.
I know we should
Like-
dig that up again because that was like eye-opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we could post that in the, you know, in below or wherever we post
Yeah. That would be good. Now that we're off on a tangent about dates. Yeah.
it. But it's a better sugar thing to have, especially if you're craving it and then the sugar keeps you awake. So it still really is about sleep.
Well, and it's so funny because yeah, everything kind of does come back to sleep between like our exercise or our activity level in the daytime can affect our sleep.
Yeah.
What we eat
If we
can
don't
affect
move our
our
body
sleep.
off, yeah.
Yeah. If we don't get
Yeah.
outside, like just the like fake lights and all that kind of stuff, our body doesn't really know what time of the day it is. And then it's like awake all night. So yeah, all sorts of things can affect sleep. So, I mean, there
Talk
are,
for hours.
we really could. Yeah. There are specialists that like their career is built around this stuff.
I know. And us, we've just been through it. So we are probably experts is what Martha would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
We are the pro.
with the baby sleep training, I mean, that's just such a cool thing to be able to offer to parents, you know, because not
It's
only
important.
are parents dealing with their own bodies and their own sleep or lack of sleep, but now they have this tiny human that has a totally different schedule and they don't even know what the schedule is or how to get the, you know, the baby to sleep. So,
Yeah. It's a hard time for them and they don't always realize it. One of my clients, it's their second baby and they're struggling. He's a little more stubborn. And so I've been walking them through them and helping them and they're kind of an ongoing client. So that's been rewarding. It has been helping, but then something comes up. And so it's not just newborn, you know, it's not, but I also then am there to be like, this is temporary. You've got this. It will pass. Maybe this is a good time to just snuggle your baby and take a nap with your baby while you're holding your baby, right? Everyone can sleep and rest and tomorrow's a new day.
absolutely. That's good advice.
I feel like they need cheerleaders. We all do.
We all do. Yes,
Really.
Absolutely.
If someone could just text me every day and be like, you've got this.
You've got this, girl. You keep going.
go.
You're doing great.
Oh, 2 more hours, whatever it is, you know, like just, man, if that could be my alarm clock, all right, be cool.
Yeah,
So
that's a good idea. And again, especially with parents, because they're often stressed. They think that they're not doing a good job. Right. You know, there's so much kind of limiting beliefs there as well. And can I really raise this tiny human to survive?
I know that's what I get that all the time. And then every parent's like, why isn't this in the book? And now I'm a failure because the book says he should be doing exactly this at this age on this day 5 minutes ago. And he is not doing this. How do I fix it? I'm a failure. No, your baby is his own individual. I seriously have that talk with every parent I've talked to.
Wow.
It's so stressful to them because they feel like they're not doing it right. And that's why he's crying or not sleeping yet. So it's
Wow.
pretty sad. There's no book that I would recommend for a parent. A few tidbits, chapter, paragraph, maybe a sentence here and there.
So that's why you should write a book.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I mean, you just walked right into that one.
I know, sorry. Open the door, here I come.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if there isn't a book that you'd recommend, then it's time to write one that you can recommend.
It's true. Right.
Yeah.
I know we're working on that.
Awesome. All right. Well, this has been fantastic.
So
And
great.
let's do this again with all sorts of topics. I think that we could chat like for hours and hours about all kinds of
Everything.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
This is what we do every week. I mean, this is,
Absolutely.
I love our time. It's great. And if we can help people while we're chatting, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really what it's all about. So,
Absolutely.
should we just put our links in the
Yeah.
comments?
Yeah, we can just we can add the links into wherever we're going to post this video. And
Great.
yes, so thank you everyone for listening, and
Yes.
we will see you in the next one.
Yay, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.